Day. It is the second live of today. Happy to see you, Jess. Good to see you, Lucky. Good to see you, Emin Bean, Miss Melissa Ray. All you friends from across the world. I don't have friends, I have friends. Grateful to be here, grateful to be live. This is my second live of today because you all know the mission 3K and 30. 3K and 30. We're doing it. We are getting there. Like actually we're there. It's done. We sold 3,000 books. Get your copy now. This is the book that you need. That's part of my campaign where I've been showing up 2 and 3 times a day to get these books in the hands of folks who need them. Students in social work classes, students in world religion classes, students in feminist classes. This is it. This is the manual. I actually heard there's a teacher actually at a university in Colorado that uses that book for her curriculum. I think it's phenomenal. Hey, Zen, good to see you. I think it's phenomenal to have someone use your work in a classroom setting for students to use to do their work. I think that is so beautiful, and I'm so grateful for the individual who uses this and has students get a copy of it to really help them break down their relationship with feminism and all that good stuff. So I'm really happy to be live again. I have the TikTok fam and I have been talking about being unhinged and what does it mean to be unhinged and what does it look like to just show up for yourself unapologetically, to not complain, to be grateful, even in the midst of what's happening in the world. So, how can you literally be in the world but not of the world? How can you be present to what is and not let Jesus and not let what is sweep you away? And I kind of think about it like, how can we be in it and not of it? And I think there comes a point where, for me, you start to realize like all you have is life because death is promised. I think that was Kanye West who said death is promised. But that statement right there is enough to slow you down and say, death is promised. And am I living my life in such a way that I find it joyous and I find it hopeful? Or am I just reaching for the same thing every day, complaining, feeling victimized, feeling powerless? And for me, I just can no longer spend days feeling that way, feeling powerless, feeling like there's no hope, feeling like I don't have a choice. But we do have choice, right? And I think it's what we put our energy into because flows where attention flows. And if your energy is only thinking about what's not working out in your life, if your energy is only thinking about all the pain and atrocities, then yeah, it's hard to have hope. One of the things that I'm going to do, and actually going to make myself I'm going to go to the Dollar Tree shortly, and I'm going to buy candles, and I'm going to buy candles for everything you can imagine, because when it's all out of my control, I can light a candle of hope. When it is all out of control, you can light a candle of hope, and you can set the intention that wherever there is pain and wherever there is fear and anger, like it's like everybody needs a hope. The country needs a candle. I mean, the country needs a candle. I need a candle. You might need a candle. And I think people don't understand how powerful it is to practice, right? Releasing the tension. And you can do that through meditation and breath work. And hi, Anna, Ann, and Sherry. Is it Sherry? No, what's that? I'm like seeing everyone's names and I know who you are, but I'm just getting stuck. Um, but lighting candles is a really great ritual practice of letting go, of calling in, of really getting present with what's around you. And me lighting a candle actually and staring at the flame for like 5 minutes and then closing my eyes is a good way for me to get back in my body. You can do a lot with candles. Because when things feel out of control, I have two choices. I'll start complaining, and or if there's something tangible I can do, like make a bracelet, light a candle. I've been making digital art. There's always a way to come back to myself. And there's so much happening on social media. It's hard to come back to yourself because you get caught up in the scroll. And that's why I'm actually going to start leading a monthly social media challenge for people who want to join me for 3 days. It'll be 3 day challenge, and then I have the option to go longer because I'm loving hosting it, because I'm loving seeing people find themselves through taking a break. You literally can take a break and reclaim yourself. So I'm really like, hey, Desiree, how you doing? I'm really grateful for the opportunity to know that there are things that I can do to let go of control. I think becoming sober and sobriety teaches you a lot about letting go, and it teaches you a lot about your healing journey. And for me, candles have been the things that have been helpful. I'm just talking about different things that you can do to let go of control. So for me, it's lighting candles. For some other people, it could be something else, but really thinking about the ways in which I can literally be in this and not of this, or what Desiree says, parallel systems. What can I do to release? What is my release? And so I have the practice of nonviolent communication, or I teach something else now, not, but I am always a nonviolent communication practitioner. Um, but also, how do I become sober in my life? And my next Substack article, it's probably going to be sobriety as a liberation practice, because it actually is really freeing. And I don't know if we've considered sobriety as actually a liberation practice. Now, for me personally, do I go to AA and ACA groups and other groups? No. Why not? Because there were some of them are they're in my lived experience, they're anti-black and very patriarchal for me. If it works for you, I'm really grateful that AA and those other methodologies have worked. But sobriety is a liberation practice. And so, how can I? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm going to be writing about, Desiree. Sobriety is a liberation practice. And so, when I think of sobriety now, I don't think about how am I just sober from alcohol. I'm going to take notes on this too, so I have it from my article. But how do I stay sober with social media? And how do I stay sober with money? How do I stay sober from whiteness? Hey, Janine. These are all things I think about when I think about sobriety, because the fact that everything is happening in the world and I'm not drinking, that's a big deal. So, yeah, that's going to be my next Substack article. I think I'm going to do it on my personal Substack, and maybe, and not on Heal Your Way Forward. Um, yeah, sobriety is a liberation practice. I'm literally like writing this in real time. It'll probably be up on Wednesday on my personal Substack, not on Heal Your Way Forward. Because I bring myself everywhere I go, right? So like, as someone who, oh yeah, send me a text. As someone who, absolutely. On Instagram, Tanya says, I think about how to stay sober from addiction to whiteness and white privilege. Those are my two classes. That's like, that brings me joy. I don't know if you did addiction to privilege or addiction to whiteness, but they're all one thing now. So it's the next big body of work. But anyway, how do you stay sober on it? There are steps, right? And hopefully, if my energy, because you guys know I'm still recovering from long COVID, if my energy is the way it is, we will launch our program. But I have to just keep checking in with my body. My whole thing is addiction and recovery. Like, I'm so excited for where my life is going. But I had to separate myself, right? Because I was enmeshed with check your privilege. So people would see me in the street and be like, oh my God, check your privilege. And I'm like, Maisha T. Hill. Oh my God, check your Maisha T. Hill. Maisha, right? Um, so I had to, yeah, okay. So for us, real quick, let me pause because I'm getting excited because I see two of my favorite people here. Actually three, actually four y'all. Actually, almost all everyone on here are my favorite people. We peeps. But like, I'm live on Substack. I got Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I also have the Co-Conspirators Collective. So if people have logged into the collective, they're like, what's happening? I'm everywhere my people are. See this? Gotta be everywhere your people are. But we know liberation is a sobriety journey. We know there are multiple steps around sobriety, and I've written some steps. I'm actually going to get, I had a group of folks who helped me write the first steps, and I'm going to bring them back together after 5 years. We need to look at them again. And plus people who participated in that work that I've done, and we're going to look at them, and we're going to look at the steps again, and like, because it's really important, right? When you recolonize, I don't even think it's not even recolonizing. It's going back and get it. When you practice Sankofa, when you take a practice that your ancestors were already doing and you reclaim it, you still have to filter out the whiteness in it. Does that make sense? So when I think of Sankofa, the practice of like, walking forward but looking back, I'm Sankofa in everything. I'm coming for everything that was taken from my ancestors. Everything that was taken, I'm Sankofaing it. That's not colonization, it's Sankofa. The fact that I want to go get something that peer support groups, they're called talking circles. If you've ever read the book, The Healing Wisdom of Africa, and or you're funny. The Spirit of Intimacy. There's a book called The Spirit of Intimacy, and it talks about the Dagara tribe in West Africa. We got this all wrong, and this is just ancestral knowledge and knowing. So we've taken the ideas of talking circles, which is an indigenous practice, to rehumanize people in the village, in the community, and we put money behind it, and we put it behind a paywall called group therapy. Group therapy is nothing more than a talking circle, except someone got a certification that will never take away what you did for going to go to school. You've got your license, you have a code of ethics you have to follow. That's the one thing I do say I appreciate about therapy. And the one thing I do appreciate is, how do I say this? The code of ethics is the one thing that I appreciate, is the code of ethics. That you have a code of ethics that you follow. Are those code of ethics slimming in whiteness? Yes, but it doesn't matter, because the coaching industry is 100% unregulated and dangerous. You got people building multi-million-dollar coaching brands, and it's actually a cult. But anyway, I keep talking about cult because people keep telling me I'm a cult leader. I think it's funny. I'm going to tell y'all again, I am a Taurus and I am Leo everything. You would know if I had a cult. Baby, y'all would be like, whoa. You would know. I'm a Taurus. Do you know Tauruses love luxury? There was no way I would. If I was in my ego and this was a cult, oh, y'all have no idea. That's why my ancestors said, we ain't blessing you like that, because you'd be out of control. You was out of control when you blew up the first time. I don't want that energy. So I think it's funny that people call me a cult leader, because I believe that, like, right, you were married to one, Des, right? You understand? Like, because you meet people who are like, we don't do rules, but for some reason, the down low of kink, some people are on the down low in liberation spaces, and you want people of color to have power over you. That's a whole nother article. The kink and liberation. That's right. We got all the articles coming. We got sobriety, and then we got kink and liberation. I think you started one with Sabrina Carpenter. Go read Desiree's latest article about that. I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna have Doc come on with me and help me filter that out, because that's her expertise. That ain't my expertise, and there's nothing wrong with kink. I have to say that there is nothing wrong with it. It's not me demonizing. It's when it's unconscious. When it's unconscious, then that's right. Then that's where it turns into all types of things. But if you're consciously involving yourself in it, then that's something totally different. All right, so I got a couple comments I want to read. Hey, David. I was just on your website. I was just about to reach out to you. That is such a trip. David is the founder of Amplify RJ. We did work together in 2020. I was reaching out to David for something similar. So funny. He just popped on. That was just my reminder to reach back out, which I will. Wow, that just made my day. All right, so a couple things from the comments. We have difficult conversations lab group therapy, if done ethically and properly, can help us identify how we show up in groups, similar to how we had to show up in our family systems often to survive. Absolutely. And then it says white people would say that because it gives them more power. Oh yeah, about the cult. I think that's what you're talking about. And then bye, text me, Desiree. Abia says, you, a cult leader, do folks not get high power control groups, how they work? Probably not. I just think that when you're in a space where people are calling you in to show up as your full self and you're like, what do you mean be myself? What does that mean? I don't even know what full self is. I'm not aware of myself. And they're not given steps to do. Like I don't give steps. And I think that's why so many people struggle with me, because you want steps. And all I got is like 4 books that all connect, and maybe that's the steps that you want. I can't give steps when I want this to be your path and me just supporting the journey forward. Um, I absolutely agree though with you, Tanya, around group therapy. Um, I also know that in my lived experience, going to talking circle and peer support groups can do the same thing. I never want to say, I always tell people, just from lived experience, to try to find a therapist, peer support group um, together. In my experience, just having one, um, and if it's not IFS, if it's not internal family systems work, my preference is internal family systems therapy. EMDR, or a brain spotting informed therapist, right? Um, Along with a peer support group, because for me, that peer support group takes me out of my own thinking that I'm just in it by myself with my therapist. It reminds me that there is my therapist and there are other people going through the same experience that I can relate to and practice and process. That works so much better for me. Hey, Nick, good to see you. It doesn't work for everybody. This is not me saying therapy is bad. Throw your therapist. I have different thoughts recently around therapy and how, in some cases, therapy can be used for you to continue to uphold oppression. That's a different conversation. And that's someone who was really into the mental health field for a while. I don't want to say that, but what I will say is pair them both. Have more than one iteration of healing, something somatic, something individual, and something collective, right? Because the journey is individual and collective. So you do need both or multiple. Um, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Um, Abia, hey, Darlene, thanks for being here. Abia also shares, right? I hear that. But yeah, high control groups work completely differently than peer support groups. Essentially, that's what our collective is. It's a peer, more of a peer support group um, than anything else. And there's so many great things coming down the pipeline with this. I'm super excited. I wish I could tell y'all everything, but I can't. Um, so I usually do a pause of myself and I ask everyone how their body is feeling. Because I want to decenter like myself as the thought leader. I'm not gonna lie, I did think of a workbook to write today. So if you could grab a sensation in your body, what would your sensation be? And mine is like Abia's earlier. It's buzzing. And I think the buzzing is because I had a download of like a workbook to write. Um, I have a workbook to write that it will probably be manifested as a physical one and an e-one, but I like physical workbooks. I'll probably have a physical workbook like at the end of September. Um, but how's your body? What's this? If you can have one sensation word for your body, what word would that be? And I think if you're on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I'm going to show you all the lists. You guys know I share lists from direct compassionate communication. So I'm going to put a list of sensations. If y'all can see it, body sensations. So it's not the whole list. If you want access to this list, come to Direct Compassion and Practice today, and we'll get you the whole list. Great question. How am I? I am present. I am feeling. I'm gonna have a challenge for myself called Unhinged. Talking about it on my personal here on my HTT Hill, where I'm just in gratitude. I'm just like the world is worlding, and I can be in it and not of it. Sue, not in Kajabi, not here. I'm gonna show you all the body sensations list. You're welcome. I try to go live 3 times a day. Like time for me is such a construct that I can't keep up with it myself most days, but I will do my best. I know 7 p.m. Pacific. If I'm not on at 7 p.m. Pacific, you'll see me on at 8 p.m. Pacific. Sharing my screen if you're not on um, what's this thing called? YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. Uh, I had a link somewhere. I don't know where it went. So I like this description. Abia says, my body feels cool like water right now. My body is buzzing. Yes. Tanya says, buzzing, buzzy, buzzing, bizarre. Headed to the pool for a long and clearly swim. Oh, that is going to reset you. Here's the body sensations list. Um, there's some, I'll read some out loud for our friends that are hanging out on Substack. Some body sensations can be active, fidgety, hot, intense, prickly, chilly, clammy, draining, cozy. What other words can we read? Hey, Mary. Block, bubbling, dense, disconnected. Mary, there's DCC today. I want to throw that out there because I didn't email you from last week. We have it today or Wednesday. Let me know if you want the link. I'll text you after the call. I'm in community with Mary, so we're just like this. So Nick is fluttery. We're describing body sensations right now. Any other body sensations? Again, just sharing the list with those of you who are on Instagram so you have it. Screenshot it. If you're on Instagram, I want you to screenshot this if you can. Because when I ask you all this week, you're going to need this. I'm going to keep asking about your body sensations. So I wanted you all to screenshot this if you're on Instagram so you have it. If you are not on Instagram, but you're on Substack, we did write an article today. I'm going to see if Mitzi or Jen can write an article, make a video about body sensations. Oh, you're feeling weary, Mary. I like that. I like you being real. Is it the day, Mary? Is it was there some breaking news in Chicago that I don't need to know about? Let me know. Or text me. You don't have to let me know right now. But weary is a body sensation. Nick's been grounding a ton. Mary says, I feel like I should be doing more things. We talk about this in the collective about the shouldings, the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I should be doing more things. Anybody else feeling resonating with that? I should be doing more things. Now, Mary, when you say Mary's on Substack, by the way, when you say you should be doing more things, are you saying you should be doing more things for yourself or for the collective? Do you have things you want to be doing, or is it things you want to be doing for the collective? Um, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, screenshot this. So when I ask you this week about your body sensations, you can just try to start connecting to a word. I'm going to stop the screen share in a second. For those who are just joining, grab, throw in your body sensation words. What is your body feeling in this moment? There's a list of body sensations. Think of a sensation and throw it in the chat. Oh, so Mary, I need to breathe for others, like my family, friends, etc. Oof. Yeah. You need to breathe. Like my heart is like, oh, catch your breath, Mary. Catch your breath. That feeling or need to breathe. I know that sensation. I want to be more intentional with where I put my energy. Yep. When I was at one point in my life, I'm sure you guys can tell, I used to sell Mary Kay. Can you tell? Okay. Um, the one thing I loved about the Mary Kay statement was like the mission was like God first, family second, career third, right? I love that about Mary Kay. I think that was one of the first experiences of like I could really do my own thing. Um, I did really well in Mary Kay, but anyway, that statement, that God first statement, and I'm no longer a practicing Christian, but when I read certain scriptures, I understand like God is within me, right? So this idea of being more intentional, knowing that God first, it's me and God, source, higher power, whatever you call it. But it's like hearing that recall, Mary, it's like for me, being more intentional. Like, what does that mean? Making sure I'm putting myself and God first, whatever that is. Maybe your God is different HP. Mine is me and the source, the energy of the earth, the nature. Um, my ancestors believed in animism. Everything has a spirit. So being more intentional. I've slowed myself down now, Mary, noticing that my buzzing is coming down. But being more intentional is huge. Can you be intentional and also make sure that you are the priority in your life? So the first hearing that, Mary, I was actually gonna like I've been seeing like everyone's back on like the decentering yourself. And I was actually going to call my workbook Centering Yourself, a call to collective liberation, because I'm countercultural like that. And I just, that part of me that's like, I'll do the opposite. And I called it something else instead, but this is a dangerous stance. But I'm the same person who said there's room for white tears, so I'm going to say it. White people do need to center themselves for a little bit because you're mostly that's the opposite of performance. If you're not performing, then you're centering, but you can center and decenter whiteness at the same time. That takes radical practice and intentionality. How do I center myself and decenter whiteness? You're not decentering you, you're decentering your collusion with the system and practicing conscious awareness. And I talk about that, I think, in Heal Your Way Forward or in podcasts. You hear me say conscious awareness. That means that it's intentional. That means I'm slowed down. That means I've made sure that I'm hydrated, I'm nourished, and I'm de-stressed before I go and take on the work of liberation. It's having healthy boundaries with the work because it can feel like you're always saving, rescuing, or fixing something, but then you leave yourself on the back burner and you're burnt out and tired because you're caretaking everyone else in liberation. So the first priority in the work is you and the journey that you're on, right? And then making spaciousness for the collective. I love that centering my heart energy. We have to remember that we've been groomed to caretake everybody else except for us. We've been groomed that way, literally. And we want to do those things, but are we doing those things because we have like excess energy? Do you have excess to put out? It's the journey that we're all on, determining if we have excess or not. But really giving you a lot of compassion today. I really love this idea of being more intentional. I love the tip I gave on TikTok a couple weeks ago. If you're gonna watch the news, watch it outside. Don't have that energy in your home. One of the things I've been thinking about is really like keep making my home feel like home and a spiritual solitude from the noise of the world. Because that's the only thing I can control is myself. So I burn the candles because I can't control anyone else. I can't fix anyone. I can't save anyone. I literally do what I can do. I mean, being sick with long COVID taught me a whole hell of a lot about myself and my body. I feel like I know more about mind, body, gut health connection, microbiome, right? I know more about like how your brain gut works than I know about liberation at this point. I just don't talk about it a lot. I'm learning and practicing more about quantum energy and being a visionary and what that really means. Like, I'm on my Harriet Tubman time. You either coming or you're not. We got work to do. And I love this. Mary says I can control the energy I allow in my space. You absolutely can. So what I'm doing in closing, I'm going to close this out today. I am still doing my unhinged challenge, which is my, I don't send bracelets for these, but maybe I should. So this is my no complaint bracelet. And so this is 21 days of just no complaints. It's part of this gift that I got from a friend, a complaint-free world. I folded this into another challenge. So here's the thing. Let me just pause y'all right now because y'all know how I can be. It's like visionary. Let's do that. We got the gratitude book, we got the collective, we have a no complaint group. I just created everything called Unhinged. We're all just unhinged. We're just unhinged with gratitude. We're unhinged with social media detox. So it's all in one little thing now, just because my brain. But I have friends that want to do separate things, so I separated them out. But anyway, this is the book. It's called A Complaint Free World. If you sign up for Unhinged, you get like an outline of what this is, where you don't have to read the whole book, but I recommend reading the whole book. If you heard me earlier in the live, I talked about Sankofa. A lot of what's produced in content was taken from people culture. So I'm saying Kofa ain't everything, and I'm citing my sources. So the no complaint challenge comes from the complaint free world. The idea of like a social media detox, or if you hear me say the hella grateful challenge, those are things that I host that I have. They're just signal chats that we just practice and we hold space for each other. I'm also doing this. We're selling 3,000 books in 30 days. I'm minding my energy. So if you can just grab a copy of this book, the link, the actual campaign, not like from Barnes and Nobles. If you purchase from the campaign, let me tell you something. I will get more money from the campaign than I will if you purchase from Amazon, Bookshop, or Barnes and Nobles. I got to just keep it real. When I do the cost, people are like, well, why does it cost? People are like, well, your book's only this much and you're selling this bundle for 44. If you tie in the shipping, the bracelet, the thank you card, and the labor behind making these bracelets, if you send one of these media mail, it can be up to $10. So I don't think people take cost into consideration. I think people just think people are trying to get rich. And again, if I was rich, y'all would know. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Leo moon. I'm a Leo rising. You would know because, baby, I would be to the nines. That's why the ancestors was like, she ain't ready yet. We want to bless her, but she ain't ready yet. Because it'll go from me being intentional to me looking like America's Next Top Model real fast in front of an infinity pool with a view of the Las Vegas Strip. Don't play with me. But anyway, friends, thank y'all for joining me on this midday live. Appreciate just doing quick body checks. Words that I'm taking away from this live are intentional, present, and really staying in this really juicy energy I'm in right now. There's a real juiciness. I'm staying here. I want to model how to be in a parallel reality. We are in multiple. Wow, I thought I was getting off, but here it comes. We are in multiple realities at the same time, and we don't even realize it. How do you know that you're in multiple realities? All right. I asked the question where I asked all of you to tell me your body sensation. And everybody's body sensation, hi, Lavette, my favorite. Everybody's body sensation was different. So your response to my question means that that's your reality. So number one, you have your reality, right? Number two, you have the world's reality, the world and the media is putting out to you. You have three, social media is a different reality. We are on multiple timelines in real time. Yes, when I told you long COVID had me sit my butt down and learn about all types of neuroscience and the brain and how we should be eating. Next thing you know, I'm going to be a lifestyle blogger. What the hell ever. But that's the energy I'm in. I'm in this juicy energy where I know I'm in multiple timelines. I'm in my imagination. So I'm in my Harriet Tubman era with a little bit of Octavia Butler, with a lot of bell hooks. with some Audre Lorde, some James Baldwin, some Malcolm X, and Dr. King. And I just feel like I'm in this energy. And not everybody is here, and I accept that. And I love you for wherever you are. But I think I've come to a point as a Black woman, a Black and Indigenous woman, who comes from the bloodline of kings and queens who happen to have become enslaved. I want to choose my own reality. I want to understand that there's some mad genocide, suffering, war, there's some mad stuff happening. And also, I still get to dream. I still get to center myself. I still get to dream about what school looks like for my kids. I still get to dream about what partnership looks like. I still get to dream even though they're suffering. And that's what has my mind lately just like, okay, I'm in this, but I'm not of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in it, but I don't have to be of it. I can see the suffering. I can donate. I can light my candles. I can't control it. So I have to just surrender to spirit, source, higher power, whatever you believe in, whatever I believe in. I have to surrender and say, I can't control that, but I put good energy there. I light my candles. I give my donations. I pray. I hold space. But there's so much more to my life than suffering. It's here. It is present. It is every day. We can't get away from it. We can't get away from the genocide. We can't get away from the young Black kids in Chicago that are getting murdered by street violence. We can't. My family's in Chicago, so like that's why I was born in Chicago. So it's like I can't get away from any of this, but I can write a new story. And for me, that is the work of Heal Your Way Forward. That is the work of that I'm doing around sobriety and addiction. That are these Substack articles that I really want to get deeper on, looking at sobriety and kink and just like maybe this is my sobriety journey. Maybe I was supposed to get sober 2 years ago. So when we got to this moment, I would be fully present to what is. Because let me tell you, had I been drinking, I would have got up. I would have had me a wine glass filled with Malibu and orange pineapple. No, pineapple Fanta or orange Fanta. And I would have been live, and I would have been live all day instead of breaking up my time to have some presence for myself and my family. You see? Like, I want to dream something different. I know Ebony Janice talks a lot about dreaming yourself free. Ebony Janice talks about softness. And it's just time. I could be in this and I can name the reality of what this world has, but I could also dream. So I have a list of books that I'd like to get to help me on this new iteration of my journey. Thank you, Mary, for this. Mary says, yes, absolutely, Maisha, your sobriety makes it possible for you to be present in this moment. Yeah, Mary, I don't think I'd be present if I was still drinking. So really just in the practice of learning how to be in this body and be present in this body and love from this body and really love myself. And you all have been saying it out loud for the last 2 years. I know I've got people that are like, are you okay? I'm great. I'm just a little unhinged with permission, giving myself permission to be my full self in a society that tells me that no, I don't belong. Congratulations, Melissa, on quitting drinking and never felt more myself. It's really great. Staying present to all this is very hard. It is not easy. And it's taking spaciousness. It's taking the social media detoxes. It's taking the just not even getting on. It's taking the trusting that my life has been a life built on trust. Because when I tell you all, I wouldn't be here without community care, mutual aid. Especially right now, especially this last year when I was really, really down with the long COVID. So that's why I say no complaining, and that's why I say I'm grateful because I'm still here. It's Austin Channing Brown's first book. So very uncomfortable, very unhinged, giving myself permission, giving myself grace. Like I used to say when we signed off on the Check Your Privilege emails, at Check Your Privilege, we give ourselves grace to get the work wrong, and we hope you give yourself that same grace as well. If I could close with anything, I would just swap it. Heal your way forward. We give ourselves grace to get this work wrong because life is a journey and not a destination. And I hope y'all give yourself that same grace as well. One step at a time. So I'm gonna log out. Oh geez, the minions are here. All right, so I'm logging out. I'll be back at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is great. I really like what we're doing here now. Y'all have a great, beautiful rest of your day. Remember, you deserve to dream. You deserve to be free. And you matter if no one's told you that today. Much love. Peace, everyone. Thanks, Substack. Thank you so much, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook fam. See y'all later.